All right, everybody, a little bit of an update on my starter for my 64 Galaxie. If you guys remember last time, I was talking about my starter was going in too deep. So I put a spacer in and I used washers. And when I did that, damaged the gears a little bit. So I ordered new ones. I've been dealing with PowerMaster. I also bought this kit. It's basically Ford alignment shims. And from an alignment, all they do is they really just go in here and they adjust the depth. So with this alignment shim, it should get it about the right length. What I like about it is it's about flush here. It's pretty flush with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it in place. I'm going to change the gear, set it in place. I'm going to try to see if I can adjust it at all. If I can, because there's a little bit of play. If it's enough, I'm going to try it. If there's not enough, I'm going to hog this out a little bit where it adjusts inwards and try that. Because this is worth like 20 bucks and the starter is worth a lot more. So try that and see where it goes. I could have tried something like that with the factory starter because I have the same problem, but the lip here is much shallower than the factory starter. So let you know how it goes. All right, so for today, what I did was I put this on and it looked okay, but I had to do some trimming here and here to make it marked well. So what I've done by doing that, when I took marker and sorry about that, put it on there. I put it on here and on here so that when I move it, it'll work out well. I've measured it. I need to move it in about 1/16 of an inch to get the right depth in here. But I also have to make sure I don't drop it. When I put this in, I can go up, down, in or out. So I've measured everything. I've got the marks on there to make sure that I try to keep it straight and aligned. So next step, to go in there, do that. I'm also going to take some of the dye, put it on the gear, and then unfortunately I have to take it out and verify that it's all good. Then I can try running it. So a little bit more work to do. It may not happen for a few days, but that's where I'm at today. All right, a bit of an update on the starter. Good news is I didn't damage the gears, the teeth on here. I didn't get enough engagement according to the instructions, which says I should have basically between 0.3 and 0.4 inches of engagement. If you look, you can see it's less. So what I've done is I've taken out this ring, which belongs down there. So I've taken it out because with the spacer, I think I'm still okay. Do have a bit of room to play. It did move. I tried to measure it, but I don't know if I can measure it very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out this layout die. I'm going to put it on there, baseline it again, and then when I move it, I'm going to see if I get the movement I need. It is pretty close, but I might have to trim some of this flat because I've got a feeling that that's what I'm going to need to move it. So I might have to just take off a few thou here probably. So anyways, onwards and upwards on steps here, but the good news is I didn't wreck the gear. I do have a spare one, but in the meantime, I'm gonna try doing that. Well, I used an awl in the bluing. You can see I got a pretty good layout of what it looks like. It may not be 100%, but it's going to work out pretty good. So now I can put the spacer back in and move it over and see where I'm at and see if I have to do any more work on it. All right, well, I can see the starter. Relative position, it's pretty hard to tell right now if I'm close enough, but I should get a bit of a better idea when I try to turn it over. Definitely it's got enough room here, so I don't have to worry about having too much engagement like I did before. but still need to turn it over. So I'll try that, and then I'll see how it looks. All right, so I pulled the starter out just to see if it would go in there. As you can see, I put it in, but what it normally does when it's not working is it won't retract. So that's exactly what it's doing right now. I do have this piece of plastic in there just to see what kind of gap I have, and this plastic is about the gap, but you can see that it's not rewinding. And I am looking at it, and sorry if this is a bad video, but it's really hard to see very well, but I'm trying to see if I can get a better video, but it almost doesn't look square right now. I'll play around with it a little bit more, but if anybody has any ideas, I'm open to them. So the problem I've had with this thing from the start is it won't retract when I engage a starter. So I put it in, and I pulled out the gear just to see if it would mesh, and looking for the gap. And if you can look in there, you can see that it hasn't recoiled. I'm not sure if it's square though, so I'm gonna play around a little bit more, but if anybody has any ideas, I'm all for it. Okay, so I've pushed this thing out again, and when I let it go, it sits there. And to get it in, I basically have to push it to get it to go in. It tells me I've got a binding issue. I just still struggling. I got more gap than I need, but even with the gap I have, I've got it binding. I don't know if it's up, down, sideways, or anything.